Speaking against American involvement, a freshman senator from Massachusetts, John Fitzgerald Kennedy.
The reason why the war in Indochina has not had the support of the people of that area and the people of Asia has been that the French have maintained too great a degree of control over the lives of the people. Indochina is an ancient French colony, and even though the French have made gradual concessions to the people, their control is still paramount. And therefore, the communists under Ho Chi Minh are able to claim that they are fighting for independence, and the French appear to be fighting for a maintenance of colonial rule. I therefore believe that before the United States moves in any degree, that independence must be granted to the people, that the people must support the struggle, because unless, as I said, that support is forthcoming, any intervention by the United States is bound to be futile.
In Korea, the guns are silent as Marilyn Monroe comes to entertain American servicemen keeping the peace along the 38th parallel. For G.I. Joe, this January, something to write home about. A week later, America's First Lady, Mamie Eisenhower, helps make history as she launches the nuclear-powered submarine Nautilus, destined one day to sail under the North Pole. Former President Harry Truman relaxes in 1954, playing a duet with James Petrillo, president of the American Federation of Musicians, and later receiving a souvenir microphone from news commentator H.V. Kaltenborn.
She was the sex symbol of the 50s.
Miss Monroe will have nothing to say this morning. All I can say as her attorney...
Unhappiness was written all over her face at the failure of her second marriage to baseball star Joe DiMaggio. In contrast, she was the picture of happiness 2 years later at the announcement of her marriage to playwright Arthur Miller in 1956.
You didn't know when you were going to get married. You know today.
It'll be in July before the 13th.
No definite date has been set.
I haven't got one yet.
Where are you going to be married?
I wish I could tell you at this moment. It's in the... I'm arranging. And I can't really tell you right now. I'll let you know that.
The marriage ended in divorce 6 years later. The following year, in 1962, she died of an overdose of sleeping pills.
Remember Joe DiMaggio, when impatience makes you wanna quit your game.
Oh, the world had thought he might be through. He's back again and hit.
Well, I've had many a thrill in my days as a ball player and everything else, but I want to say this is one of my happiest and best thrills I've ever had.
It's a pleasure when he hits that ball and 50,000 people call. Hey, Joe! When the Yankee club is near defeat, the Clipper hits one in your seat, and all the people start to cheer again.
Remember Joe DiMaggio, when impatience makes you wanna quit your game.
Oh, the world had thought he might be through. He's back again and hitting too.
Oh, the Yankee Clippers flying once again.
When a well-known honeymoon couple arrives at Tokyo Airport, a throng of 4,000 baseball and movie fans surge out of control, break through police lines. Joe DiMaggio and his bride smile bravely at their greeters, but they don't dare move. So back into the plane they go, while police clear a path to the cargo hatch with DiMaggio's convertible. The stratagem works. The former Yankee slugger and his picture bride escape into the car and head for the safety of their hotel. their troubles aren't over, next day comes a press conference where the public was barred, but the photographers and reporters more than made up for that. Their questions were rough, ranging from the risque to the ridiculous. And Joe, he's the forgotten man, which is something in Japan where baseball is so popular. Never underestimate the power of you-know-who. But enough's enough. His patience is exhausted, and Joe says, go.
One of the most famous stars in Hollywood history is dead at 36. Marilyn Monroe was found dead in bed under circumstances and entertainment for Korean GIs. The star led a far from normal childhood and had 12 sets of foster parents, leading her to say in her last interview that she was never used to being happy, so it wasn't something she ever took for granted. She never let her personal feelings interfere with her job, and she was the idol of the GIs, the animation of foxhole dreams. She found no happiness in marriage. Her second husband was baseball immortal Joe DiMaggio, and that marriage ended as had her first in divorce. Her third husband was playwright Arthur Miller, and they too separated. Any personal problems dim her screen glamour. Despite flashes of temperament and tantrums, she turned in performances that kept her among the greatest box office favorites in motion picture history. The curtain falls. Brief and simple rites mark the funeral of Marilyn Monroe. As former husband Joe DiMaggio leads a small group of friends.
I wanna be loved by you, just you, nobody else but you. I wanna be loved by you, ba-diddly-diddly-diddly-dum, boop-boop-be-doo.
She is a star, and millions upon millions love her. She belongs more and more to the public, less and less to herself. The created image must continue, though the girl inside may be tired. She must pose and smile, pose and smile. Just one more picture. One more. It's sometimes hard to remember that there was a girl inside.